What the fuck is this? I want to fight for title shot and you give me Shavkat Jr. This is ridiculous. What do you want from me? Huh? What do you want? Beat everyone in division first? You and the rest of your booking staff are a bunch of maggots.
Who are you supposed to be?
Sit the fuck down, you little stupid Uncle Fester. I'm all Manel Cap doing all of his unhinged rants about his place in the UFC flyweight division.
I was like, I don't get it.
Splitty City Slickers, welcome once again to the Split Decision Combat Sports Podcast, where Hank the Tank and the Idaho Fight Fan agree occasionally, concede a time or two, but mostly disagree beyond the point of scientific understanding and human comprehension. But we won't be split this time on the fact that this is a rotten UFC card we got this time around. Horribly booked UFC card. We got Charles Johnson opening the show, and Cody Brundage is in the co-main event against Julian Marquez, who has been knocked out in his last 3 fights.
I didn't even know he was still in the UFC.
Yeah, I can't believe he's in it either. He honestly doesn't deserve a job. But we got, some
we'll take his job.
If you know, you know. They're guys who've hung around a little bit. Oh, they can be very entertaining. But I don't know, man. They're the only fight that I'm actually interested in for Saturday is Ribovic and Nasrat. That's pretty much it. I can't really think of another fight that's like, oh man, this is going to be a banger.
Even just Ribovic is like the exciting part of it.
Ribovic is fun. Yeah. I mean, Nasrat's pretty solid too. He usually has some good fights. Yeah. But Ribovic brings it. I mean, we know from UFC 306 that Ribovic brings it. But there's definitely I will say it may not be an entertaining card on paper, rest in peace Anthony Smith, but it does have a lot of opportunities for underdogs. So the question is, which underdogs will we choose and which ones will we not which ones will we cut out of our predictions? Who do we value based on our past history with picks? That is the question. So it'll be interesting to see what Idaho and I come up with tonight. And we also got a little bit of boxing, a little bit of karate combat. We got a few shows. It seems like MMA or combat sports as a whole sort of blew its load last week, and now it's drunk, hungover. Just sit face first on the floor, just nothing. Yeah,
limp into the weekend.
Exactly.
So we've got Nick showing some love. Cody Brundage fight week.
Yeah,
always a character that Nick and Giuliano.
Yes, sir.
$20 our way, dude.
The Argentine man.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that.
Yes.
He said, Blood's monetized.
Forget about it.
I'm ambitious.
Yeah.
Hey, forget about it.
We can get some pizza over down at Joe's in Hollywood.
Hopefully it's not like Pesci when he walks into the room.
Yeah. Motherfucking mutt!
And then they just cap him.
Let me explain to you what I do.
Have you seen that Family Guy bit where he's like he's got Joe Pesci to like beat someone up, and then he goes over there and picks him up. He's like, "This was a tough guy back when I was a kid." Anyway, so let's get into this stuff. What do you got for the regional shows?
James Woods is more tough than Joe Pesci in Family Guy.
Yeah.
But yes, I have thankfully one show with a regional lock and underdog, and it is everybody's favorite promotion, ACA 184 Omarov versus Salemonov. And
does anyone actually watch ACA?
Kadirov's mother does. So that's pretty good. We have my big lock for this card. It's Islam Omarov.
Only when she's accompanied by a man.
Yes. Yes. Hamzat Chimaev specifically. But yeah, good old Omarov has been very dominant as the featherweight champion in ACA. Guillotine choke, rear naked choke, ground and pound. Dude's been on a finish streak in all of his fights. Man's a freaking monster. When he gets on top, you're pretty much done. And then there's this guy, the newest challenger. I believe this is either his third or his fourth defense of his title. Alkan Suleimanov beat a Brazilian. That's never a good sign. Well, look at this. Looks like Omarov whooped his ass in the fight before his last one. So not much competition here. It looks like ACA is running out of talent, running out of Brazilians to challenge these Russians. So they're having the Russians face each other, sadly. And one of them's going to get smoked, and it's going to be Ali Khan. Ali Khan.
You need to get one of Kadyrov's sons back on the card.
Yes, exactly. Then that'll drive up the ticket prices by like 3. And then we have the big underdog. Man, I'm nailing it with these ACA jokes. We got good old Kavfiz Sakibekov against Yusupkadze Zuberiev. And I'm going with Zuberiev to pull off the upset because Sakibekov, he gets decision merchant, sort of the Gamrot of ACA, which is not a knock. But it is indicative of his style. Whereas Zuberiev, he's getting knockouts. He's having slugfests. Jumping switch knee. I need to see that. I need to go on Twitter and see how he pulled that off. But he has way better potential on the feet. It seems to me like Sakibekov needs to get the takedowns to win this thing. Because otherwise, I think he might deal with some offense that he doesn't usually. So I think that good old Zuberiev is going to keep it on the feet and just whoop his ass over 3 rounds. Also, he was one of the only valid underdogs that was here on the card. Most of them were pretty heavy favorites. So this is one of the few close fights that people saw. And so I'm going with the underdog there. That's pretty much it for ACA. Run, Idaho, run, quick. Let's get off to the Middle East together. Escape from him.
There's another promotion called Alash Pride. I think it's out of Kazakhstan. You heard of it?
I have not heard of that.
I follow their YouTube channel. They post their full events. They're pretty early in the morning, but they're going to be.
Are they exciting?
I don't know. I've never watched it, but I'm just saying they post their full events online.
Yeah, but he's a fan. He's a fan. He likes the aura they got going on. Hello, Kobe Wiggle. Welcome to the.
Already said hi to him.
Oh, hey, Kobe.
But yeah. So that's going to be going down Friday morning. And then another thing that's going on Friday morning is everybody's favorite round of violence, One Friday Fights. Guys, if you're not watching Friday Fights, at least watching them back. I don't know what you're doing with your life because it really is probably the best, like most consistent product like that happens every week or, mostly every week.
Full of finish.
Yeah, you guys got to check that out. I mean, I don't ever really know who's fighting. Doesn't matter. It's just great every single time. Before we get into the UFC picks, I just want to mention that there is a couple of shows going on Friday as well. One will be this BKFC show in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
I don't know anybody on the card, but.
Ooh, and Usmanov.
Yeah, Bekzad Usmanov. I feel like I've heard of that guy.
He was in the Ultimate Fighter. I remember, and he had a hell of a fight. He had like the fight of the entire season. So that's actually a match made in heaven for him to be in bare knuckle.
Cool. And then Eric Dodson, John Dodson's brother, will be fighting. I believe they live in Albuquerque.
I didn't even know that.
He hasn't had a good run in BKFC.
Gotta assume not. Yeah.
He'll either get knocked out or he'll get an easy knockout. Yeah, that's pretty much that. But one thing I really did want to mention is everybody's favorite Booper will be fighting on Karate Combat on Friday. And he's not the main event, but let's be honest, he might as well be.
Yeah. Cocaine.
It's Robellis Despain. Yeah, it's Robellis Despain. Taking on a guy, which is exactly what we need. How fast did he knock out that last guy?
It was like 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Also, Weber Almeida is fighting. He's like he's like tutored by Lyoto Machida.
Huh.
He has kind of a cool like Taekwondo style. I haven't seen him in Karate Combat. I don't watch a lot of Karate Combat, but I'm sure he'll be fun just with the style that he's got. Yeah, I don't know anybody else on the card, but yeah, so that's kind of all I want to talk about. But Friday fights. So let's get into the boxing card. Sorry, let's get into the boxing card that's happening.
But, I mean, I can't blame you, dude. Rebels to Spain is must see TV. You got to watch his fights. So either see him get knocked out or humiliated in the worst way possible. It's one or the other. And that's why Giuliano is done with it. Okay. And then we got our big boxing card. It's a solid boxing card. I went over it with Idaho before we started streaming, and he said there were some pretty good fights on there.
It's a classic PBC showcase. One thing that I do like about PBC is, aside from the headlining fights, generally, there's pretty competitive matchups on I know people like to trash PBC for good reason. You know, they don't have a lot of cards ever since they came off of Fox, the Fox deal.
That's right.
And they've been kind of just floating around looking for like a home. It's questionable, some of their business practices, but on Top Rank, it's like a Top Rank showcase of like, here's the guys we want to promote. And then PBC is kind of like, I would say it's more competitive, the matchups generally. Right. But yeah, so Jarrett Hurd, one time champion, fell off pretty hard. Keeps coming, looking for that bounce back, put him back, but he always just kind of seems to be lackluster and just getting the win, not really like excitingly or anything like that. But yeah, he'll be fighting some guy. Good for him.
Ooh, Jesus! Look at that. 2 for 3 on his record.
Well, there you go.
And yet somehow a minus 195 favorite in boxing, which is interesting.
Yeah. There's an interim super welterweight title fight. Julian Williams, I think, is a pretty good prospect. Oh no, never mind. He's got some losses. I think he's exciting. Yeah,
he lost to Carlos Adams, which is understandable.
J-Rock is the guy that beat Jarrett Hurd, or I think Jarrett Hurd bounced back and got a win over him. I can't remember. Oh, never mind. I guess I don't remember. Anyway, this guy's an undefeated prospect, this Tellez guy. So we'll see what happens there.
Right hook, decision, left hook. Ooh, he's got the right hands. He's got the left hands. He's got the right. Left hand hospital, right kick cemetery.
Yes, sir.
And then what do we have after that? We have here it is. A good old Alberto Puello versus Sandor Martin.
So Sandor Martin, I think he fought Teofimo Lopez, and that was his
bingo
loss.
Split.
Yeah. So, and I thought, it was he was very competitive with Teo.
Most of his fights are.
That's kind of what put him at least on the map to get like bigger fights. And now he's on a 2-fight win streak, going against Alberto Puello, who I have heard about. But okay, he beat Gary Antoine Russell, who is actually above him on the card. By the way, there's like 7 Gary Antoine Russells. I don't know if you know anything about Gary Russell family, but
there's a giant Gary Russell family.
Yeah, so Gary Russell Sr. has like 4 sons that all box, and they're all named Gary Russell.
Wow.
But their middle names are different. They're like Antoine, Antwain.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they should just call him version 1, version 2, version 3 on the test tube chambers.
But having a win over Gary Antoine Russell is pretty significant. So it'll be a competitive match. If one of these guys gets a knockout win, I would be very shocked.
Yeah. I actually had a Puello by decision against Sandor Martin. Although I was sort of going back and forth on who to pick up for this one, because Sandor Martin does have I believe it's a left hand. He's got big like power punches that he can throw.
He's pretty quick and technical. I just fear that like there's nothing he does like exceptional.
Right.
Like, he's
just
very
does everything
solid at everything.
Solid. Yeah. Got it. And then I believe our next fight is good old Jose Valenzuela against Russell, who Sandor Martin beat, and yet he's in the co-main. And by the way, we are going to have a few fights on the UFC Fight Night card in which guys who lost to other fighters are above them on the card. Again, just adding to how good that UFC Fight Night is going to be. It's going to be a masterpiece, man.
Everybody was talking shit on UFC Seattle, and it was a really good card. So
hey, I never talked shit about Seattle. I thought it was stacked, regardless of how many fights there were, and a lot of finishes too.
So El Rayo, who are his 2 losses?
His 2 losses are to Edwin De Los Santos and Chris Colbert.
Okay. Dude, if you lose the Chris Colbert,
that's not great. But then I believe he got his win back. Yes, he did.
Okay, that's right. He knocked him out. Okay, and then
that's right. He beat Isaac Cruz.
Okay,
that's why I'm picking him in that one.
It's hard to beat Gary Russell. Man, that's a good fight. That's actually a really good fight. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of potential from Valenzuela after what he showed against Cruz. I think he just has the ability to improve after that win. By the way, we got, speaking of Antoine, we got Antoine Willis.
What's up, man?
Split Decision chat.
1 a.m. in Atlanta. Yeah, it's a late one. Sorry about that. But yeah, appreciate you joining the stream, man.
We got enough people in here now. Now it's a party. And then we have, of course, the main event that isn't a super fight from Gervonta Davis that people want. It's Tank Davis against Lamont Roach Jr.
Yeah, so who are Lamont Roach's last couple wins?
Let's take a look. It's in a book, Reading Rainbow. Fergal McCrory and Pro Box Promotions. Hector Garcia, he has a split. Angel Rodriguez, Daniel Rosas. Know any of those names?
No, I don't.
Yeah, see, this is why this is a weird fight. Why is it all these scrubs?
Antoine asks, do you guys think Turkey can get Crawford versus Canelo?
He sort of tricked them, didn't he?
I feel like it's more up to Canelo if he wants to have that fight.
Right.
I think Turkey could convince him monetarily. He can. The question is if he will. The thing about fights like that is I don't really, and really boxing in general, I don't really go, oh, this fight's gonna happen until it's announced. We get a press conference. I don't trust boxing, so I would advise you to do the same.
Yeah, especially the judges.
And I don't know, man. People have been telling me Crawford versus Canelo is gonna happen for years, and I've always just been like, I don't think it will, but if it does, cool. I don't really want to see that fight. I don't really care for that fight.
Just as likely as Conor McGregor coming back.
If it does happen, I'll be excited for it.
Or Tony Ferguson getting a win.
So Tank Davis was rumored to retire recently. In the last year, he said he was retiring, and then came back and fought. God, what is that fucking guy's name that he fought? Pretty good boxer. His last fight,
Frank Martin.
Frank Martin. That's right, and he knocked him out. So, look, Tank's probably just gonna knock this dude out. Probably go over 6.5 rounds. I don't know what the odds are.
I had him by a 6-round KO.
Yeah, because Tank will. What's up, Deadpool?
Forgiveness pool.
Good to see you.
He has been born again, bro.
The thing about Tank is, this is why I compare him and Rod Tang so much, right? Is they'll both fight cans or people that aren't on their level, but they'll play with their food enough to where they know they'll get the win. But I feel like Tank, the difference between Tank and Rod Tang, I know I'm comparing a Muay Thai fighter and
they're both a little bit of
But the thing about Tank is
they're open.
I feel like he will eventually, unless he broke his hand against Isaac Cruz. I feel like he eventually does figure his opponent out and knock them out. At least he delivers knockouts. That's why people love Tank. But yeah, I'm just not. It's a foregone conclusion that Tank's going to win this fight. The question is, what round does he knock the guy out in? And I would probably go 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, that's a smart bet. The difference between him and Rod Tang is that if Tank's lips come in contact with the ref's face, he's going to make that face black and blue afterwards and then get arrested for it. So best that he stays away from those guys.
No, man, he's Muslim now. His name is Abdul Wahid.
Yeah, and he'll be the new Muhammad Ali.
Do you know that?
I think I read that once.
His name is Abdul Wahid. And after he turned Muslim, he was seen with a cross.
Nice. Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. He should cover his face to go along with the religion.
He asked, who do you guys think is a real possibility for Ilya's first opponent at lightweight? Top 5 and up?
I think Dustin Poirier makes a lot of sense. It seems that both guys really want it.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a good fight. I'd like to see him kind of slot in and get Gaethje to save that card.
That'd be a great fight.
But I don't know, man.
I don't know if he'd prep have enough prep to want to do it.
It'll be somebody in the top 5, or it'll be a immediate title shot
for sure.
But yeah, what do you think about Gervonta Davis boxing this weekend?
I think he's in at that state. He's actually, speaking of an Ilia Topuria, he's sort of like that type where it's like, man, I take a bunch of punishment. I get hit in the face over and over again, and then I hit the other guy with a giant right hand that just puts him away. Like, just difference in strike statistics. You could unload like 50 shots on Ilya, and then all it takes for him is like 4, and he'll knock you out. So, sort of like that. Don't really agree with whatever Tank Davis has done outside of boxing. Also, dude, if you listen to an interview with him, it's going to take you 10 seconds for him to get started again. He's sort of like a car once the engine breaks a little bit. Boom, and then he gets back on track.
People like to rip on Devin and Ryan, but at least those fucking guys fought each other, dude. Say whatever you want about either man, but they actually made the fucking fight.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually going after big fights.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tank and Ryan did fight each other.
Aren't Hank and Ryan fighting each other again? That's what I heard.
Again, I'm not gonna like say yeah they are because
it's boxing. Maybe. I get it, but apparently that's what's been planned.
But yeah, what do you think? You have any other thoughts on this fight?
I think it's gonna look a lot like Tank's fight with Frank Martin did. He'll be roached. Okay. Oh, he's a little bit too technical for Tank. Oh, there it is, the big body shot. Down he goes.
Like I said, the thing that people don't understand about Tank Davis is the guy is a fantastic boxer. Like he knocks fools out, but he actually really is good at. I mean, dude, he outboxed Esau Cruz with one hand.
Yeah, he's good for sure. Ooh, forgiveness pool has an interesting hypothetical question. Who wins in a hypothetical bout between Rod Tang and Tank? Like Rod Tang and DJ, but one round is boxing and the next is Muay Thai.
So this question is really dumb. I love you, Deadpool, but this question is just stupid. First of all, Tank would never, any high-level boxer would never take a kicking match, especially not a Muay Thai match. So it would for certain be in boxing. And
Tank would.
I mean, yeah, Tank would murder Rod Tang, just like Rod Tang's gonna murder.
And then he'd go to jail for it.
But I mean, these hypothetical like mixed rules bouts are just stupid in general because it's like who wins GSP versus Bukaw 1 round Muay Thai, next round boxing or next round MMA.
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Muay Thai and MMA between Bukaw. Bukaw wins the Muay Thai round.
No. The MMA fighter, if you do this any time, right? The MMA fighter will just evade until the second round.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The kickboxer. Like, it's just
lame.
Like, duh. Like, that's just what is going to happen.
Going to pull an Israel Adesanya. Yeah. Also, always wanted to ask y'all, what made you guys UFC fans? Was it just the fights themselves or the storylines and everything surrounding the Ultimate Fighting Championship?
So, I've told this story many times. It's Khabib and Conor. And a lot of fans come in on certain like waves. I was one of the fans that came in on the Khabib Conor wave. It was really just Khabib, just the dude that he was. I was like, dude, this guy... His story of how he beat Conor and the whole buildup just got me in, and then
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's like reality TV.
Yeah, and then Robert Whittaker kind of was a similar kind of guy for me. So the first pay-per-view I ever bought. Can't believe I used to buy pay-per-views. Was Whittaker and Izzy.
Yeah,
and then Izzy knocked out Whittaker twice in that fight. That was sad.
Yeah.
How about you?
In terms of how I got into the sport. I mean, it was Conor first. I believe I watched a Korean zombie fight. That was my first ever introduction into MMA. And then I got into UFC with Connor, but I was sort of like watching his highlights, nothing else. And then I was like staying on the sidelines, like, oh, there's Sean O'Malley. Oh, who's this? Who's this kid with the clown hair? Oh, look, it's Cyril Gahn. Ooh, Derek Lewis, who's that? And then when Leon Edwards, I mumbled a bit, sort of like Leon does. When Leon Edwards got that head kick on Usman in the 5th round, I just thought to myself, what the fuck am I doing just, looking at the results of these fights? I have to be there live to see this shit happen in real time. And I was very lucky that only a couple years later, I would see a moment that was, in my opinion, just like that in Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje with 1 second left. That was like, oh my God, I can't believe this sport exists. So
yeah, it was one of the best moments in the sport, I think.
Yeah. Hey, great shirts here. I
didn't really watch the fight. I was watching it, but I didn't really watch it. From all accounts, Bivol leveled up and he made the adjustments. But I still thought that it was very close.
Yeah, I think Bivol definitely took over in the second half of that fight. Was really good at evading Beterbiev's offense, and his counter game got way better as well. But does Tank get Rodtang out of there? Get out of there, man! In the first boxing round.
I don't care.
All right. Hello, hey, Chummy Boy. Always good to see Chummy Boy here.
Good to see Chummy Boy.
Man, been a while, busy lately. Well, we're glad that you're here now.
Same here.
At
good to see you.
Midnight, looking rather Canadian. I think he's
Don't you ever say that, Isha. Don't you ever say I'm Canadian.
He's an Idaho potato farmer. He's dressing up like that for Halloween. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, dude! I wanted to send this to everybody, all my friends, but I didn't get a chance.
Uh-oh.
Look at what I saw. Look at what I saw. God.
What is it? Oh.
See it?
I see a truck. Is that Los Pollos Hermanos or something? Oversized. Oh my God! Wow. That potato has gigantism. Holy crap!
That's Idaho. That's Idaho for you, boys.
Yeah, that's some Idaho steroids right there. Dude, were you 300? Damn, bro, we could have met. I was there too, and found UFC when I was 12 years old with the Tough Life season, 15 with Cruz and Faber. I'm 25 now.
That's sick. You were at UFC 300. No, I refuse to go to a UFC show. It's too expensive.
They're priced out. They're for all of Dana's rich friends.
Yeah,
that's the truth, Ruth. This Gatesman being Canadian.
Oh, that would be tough tomatoes there, bud. Anyway, we got to get this show on the road because I have to go to work in the morning. So let's get into the picks, man. Let's get into the picks. So we got Montana De La Rosa versus Luana Carolina at flyweight. Montana De La Rosa is 13-9-1. She is 2-3 in her last 5. She is plus 110. Even this is basically a pick 'em. She is 30. Luana Carolina is on a 3-fight win streak, 11-4. 3-2 in her last 5. 31 out of Sao Paulo. So Montana De La Rosa went on this 3-fight skid. I think it was questionable whether she'd even be in the UFC or not anymore. And then Luana Carolina got knocked out by Molly McCann and then lost the decision to Joanne Wood, of all people. Jeez. Since then, she's gone on a 3-fight winning streak. Her most impressive win probably be Julia Stoliarenko. I know people don't really like or rate Stoliarenko, but I think she's very dangerous on the ground. And she got her in a crucifix and got a TKO that way. So Montana De La Rosa is very scrappy. But I don't know if she's very good at anything. Luana Carolina isn't much better, but I'm going to pick Carolina by decision here. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going with Carolina by decision as well. I think she'll have enough time on the feet to do damage to De La Rosa. I think De La Rosa needs some takedowns to win this thing, but I think Carolina's I think she's a good hybrid fighter. I think she has talent both on the feet and on the ground. Tough as nails. I know she got knocked out by Molly frickin' McCann, but that was when Molly McCann was in her I'm on the Patty hype train.
That was
that was fantastic. But, I mean, think about it. That was a spinning back elbow that knocked her out. Like, that was a big random ass shot. Like, do you think...
Dude, she got a spinning back elbow KO in the next fight, too. Was it Hannah Goldie?
I think it was, yeah. I mean, that was her patented move for a little while. And then she, like, lost the ability to connect with it. And then she loses only by split to Joanne Wood. I think Joanne Wood had a win on her way out. I think she left the UFC on a win. I believe so. I remember because I was in like Oregon, I think, at the time, and I saw the result. Yeah, good for Joanne Wood. So that's not a bad loss to have. Whereas Macy Barber, Tatiana Suarez, but JJ Aldridge, she loses to JJ Aldridge. I can't really trust her after that, and she goes to a split with Andrea Lee, who's like, what? She's lost like her last 5 fights. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Andrea Lee's above her.
Yeah, I know. Andrea Lee is very, very good on the feet, and I think that's where Montana De La Rosa does her best work.
And I think Luana Carolina is pretty damn good on the feet as well. So I think that's what's going to win her this thing, just barely.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, next fight is Charles Johnson taking on Ramzan Temirov, a flyweight. Charles Johnson, 17-6 on a 4-fight win streak. He is 4-1 in his last 5. He is 34 out of St. Louis. And you've got this dude, Ramzan Temirov. He is 5-0 in his last 5, 18-2 overall.
Rising monster.
He's 28 out of Uzbekistan. So this guy was a monster in Ryzen. Shit, I mean, he's been knocking fools out pretty much everywhere he's been. And then he came in the UFC and he knocked out CJ like really quick, which was pretty impressive to me.
Not this CJ, the other CJ.
Yeah, CJ Vergara, which I was pretty impressed by. Charles Johnson, he lost that fight to Estevam a year ago. Been on a 4-fight win streak. Took on that guy Azat Maxim, and we're like, oh crap! Here comes a Eastern European guy. He's gonna steamroll him, and then he ended up steamrolling him.
Yeah,
beat Hadley, knocked out Joshua Van, which was really impressive.
That's gonna be his greatest
decision with Sumaderji. So here he is again, taking on the newcomer guy. The disrespect to Charles Johnson, the UFC is showing. Not giving him any good fights, favorable matchups, just giving him young killers. And okay, like if this fight goes to decision, it's Charles Johnson's win, right? No, you don't think so?
I got another opinion.
Well, okay. He's just gonna wait. He doesn't want to reveal his pick.
Yeah, look, I'm not revealing my.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth. Here's the thing, you guys.
Here's the fucking thing, you guys. This fucking Temirov guy, dude.
Hank is 4-2. He's got 2 wins. I got 4 in the year. He's very salty, so he does not want to lose this one.
I don't.
Yeah. So okay, if it goes to decision, I feel like Charles Johnson will win. But he's gotta not get hurt because I think Charles Johnson can get hurt. I'm not gonna say he's chinny, but this guy's got a lot of power, and I feel like if he gets hurt, it's gonna
a fist magnet.
Yeah. So, I just can't pick. I can't pick Charles Johnson here. I know it sucks, but I'm gonna pick our guy Temirov to get a 2nd-round knockout. It's gonna break my heart, but I'm actually gonna be rooting for CJ in this.
Yeah, me too.
Here. He's a very good fighter. I just, gosh, this guy seems like the real deal, and I guess we'll find out if he can knock out Charles Johnson. I would be pretty shocked.
End of the line, CJ. I'm going with Ramzan Temirov by decision, actually. Charles Johnson is a highly underrated flyweight, tall, lanky, with great takedown defense, but all those attributes won't save him from a heavy power puncher and wrestler in Ramzan Temirov. He's just good enough of a striking wrestling hybrid that he can manipulate Johnson with his takedowns into leaving himself open on the feet, where he can land with great effectiveness and power and win the rounds against Johnson. CJ's a tricky and tough fighter, though. Tough guy to put away. Just ask Joshua Van, who CJ successfully followed, the damn Van. Sumaderji hurt Johnson bad on the feet at several points and still couldn't put him away. Temirov will have moments where he hurts Johnson, but this is flyweight, so expect a marathon, not a sprint, regardless of individual fighters' power. CJ can stay out of trouble long enough to survive Temirov, in my opinion, but not beat him. He'll in fact get beaten up here quite a bit due to getting hit while stuffing takedowns and eating some shots on the ground. But he won't go out. Plus, this is what Temirov's second fight in the UFC. I don't think he'll have the experience necessary to finish Charles Johnson, but he is good enough to beat him skill for skill. Charles may be an inner G, but Temerlin's an emperor. And if you're no match for the Kingpin, Busta, straight Busta. Pick the wrong house, fool. CJ.
Antoine asks, why do the matchmakers keep blackballing Charles? He's not very exciting, and he's not very he's just not. He doesn't have like the personality. He's just a really humble dude. Seems like a nice guy.
Also wears like scuba gear sometimes in his Twitter posts, and he has sort of like a strange hairstyle. That's like,
it's that skullet clown. And everyone's going Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson. By the way, good to see you, Paradox. Charles hasn't been KO'd. This definitely is not the guy to be the first. Really? You don't think?
Huh?
I can see that. Good to see you, Larry.
The thing is, I feel like Johnson has mostly dealt with guys who are wrestlers. Like, Maxim was a takedown artist. Hadley is a takedown artist. Joshua Van isn't really known for like, oh man, Van with the first round knockout. And then Sumo Derji, yes, he's a striker, and he ended up beating up Charles Johnson in that second round.
Yeah,
so I think his weakness is strikers.
Charles Johnson is the GOAT, my favorite flyweight. All right, we gotta move on.
Or the
aforementioned Andrea Lee versus JJ Aldrich at 125. Andrea Lee is 13-10. God damn. 0-5 on a 5-fight losing streak. She's 36 plus 160 as the dog. Aldrich is 13-7. 2-3 in her last 5, 32. I mean, are we really gonna debate this one? The only thing is, like, I'm gonna pick Aldrich to win. The only thing is that I will say that there's been some like, okay, if we look back at her losses, like Macy Barber, Natalia Silva, Maverick, and De La Rosa, which I thought she actually won that fight. She's somewhat competitive in her losses. I just think that as much as I do like Andrea Lee, even though she has a Nazi boyfriend.
Whoa. What about that?
You didn't know about that?
No, I did not know about that.
Her extremely racist boyfriend.
Wow. Dumbo. Well, she is Russian, so you know they know.
Andrea Lee is Russian?
No. I'm just saying the Russian gimmick. So the Stalin,
Anyway, I really like Andrea Lee. I like her style. She always brings a good fight. I just think Aldrich is just gonna out wrestle her, and then we're all gonna be bummed out. So yeah,
I think so too. I think Aldrich. I think she's actually pretty solid on the feet. I think she can make it competitive.
I always get her confused with Aspen Ladd.
Yeah, because they're both very pale and both wrestle on occasion.
Yes.
But one of them is getting retirement benefits, and the other one is in the UFC right now. But JJ Aldrich, I think she's technical enough to stay out of trouble against Andrea Lee, and then if she needs to, take her down. And again, her fight against Hardy, I was actually very impressed by her performance in the third round. She got Hardy down, and she was sort of beating her up. Like, she started to figure out Hardy's style and take advantage of her smaller frame. What is the difference in height? All right, she's a little smaller than Andrea Lee, but I honestly don't think that's going to make much of a difference. I think Lee's best work is going to be on the feet, and then Aldrich is just going to use the takedown to save herself and win a couple rounds. This is going to be a low-level fight, though.
Ty says, I think JJ is going to TKO Lee. Might TKO Lee. Yeah.
She might.
I'm sure the odds on that would be crazy. I just don't think that Andrea Lee is like a big enough underdog to bet on. So yeah, I mean, give me Aldrich.
God, when's the last women's KO in the UFC we've seen? I don't remember it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you got me there. The next fight will be Lucas Almeida versus Danny Silva at featherweight. Lucas Almeida is 15-3, 3-2 in his last 5, plus 160 as a dog. Danny Silva is 9-1, 4-1 in his last 5. He is minus 190. Pretty heavy favorite, if you ask me. Timmy Kawamba is who Lucas Almeida, if he got knocked out by Feely and subbed by Sabatini. God, I don't really remember this guy. And I don't know who the fuck.
I just remember him having some really fun fights.
I never like when somebody gets in the UFC off a decision,
right,
from Contender, and then Josh Kulabau is a pretty good fighter. Going to split decision with him shows me that you got all your bases covered, right?
Got all your ducks in a row.
Kulabau's a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't even know. I feel like this is going to be a good test for Almeida or for Silva.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about this guy. Dude, I don't even remember either of these fucks. Sorry.
Wow.
Who the fuck is Timmy? Who the fuck is Timmy Kawamba?
Dude, I told you this card's fucking shit, man.
Who is that?
He wrestles and he fails at wrestling.
I don't even know, dude. Okay, I think if Danny Silva can weather the storm, he wins the decision. But I feel like Lucas Almeida is a threat to finish Silva. Sounds like he's kind of a wild dude, just gets into brawls. But I think I'll probably just pick the young gun to get a decision win here.
I think that's a smart move. I'm going with Danny Silva as well. He's a brawler, but he also does have some wrestling skills. And I think he's a better wrestler than Timmy Kawamba. I will say there is a risk for him on the feet sometimes because in his fight with Kulabau, there were some moments where he was touched up, but But he's also, a striker who wants wars, so he's gonna get hit a time or two. But the thing is, I think he has the wrestling in his back pocket. I think even if he gets beaten up, all he needs is that takedown and some ground and pound, and he can.
Is this in the Apex?
Yes, it is, and that explains a lot, honestly.
Yeah, I think
a lot of these fights.
I think that people are less inclined to have really exciting fights in the Apex. So yeah, give me Silva. Hopefully he wrestles.
Yeah, I think he's gonna wrestle.
Let's
wrestle.
Larry's going Silva as well. So another Silva. Douglas Silva de Andrade versus John Castaneda at bantamweight. Douglas Silva de Andrade is 29-6. He is 3-2 in his last 5. Plus 190 as the underdog. Why is everybody plus 190? He is 39 goddamn years old.
Told you lots of close ones.
Bantamweight. John Castaneda is 21-7. He is 3-2 in his last 5 as well, but minus 230 as the favorite. And he's from Minneapolis. Shout out to Isha. So Silva de Andrade, dude. Douglas Silva de Andrade is one of my favorite fighters. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Not gonna front. Yeah. But he did look kind of old against Miles Johns. And though he did beat Cody Stamann, like he didn't have the fire. I felt like he lost to Said Nurmagomedov. But dude, before that, he was finishing fools.
He was fun.
Castaneda beat Daniel Marcos, which is a pretty good win, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Kyung Ho Kang, who cares? Beat Muin Gafurov. He actually beat Miles Johns.
Oh, he beat Miles Johns.
Silva de Andrade recently. God damn. I'm just gonna ride with my boy. Wow. I'm gonna ride with Douglas Silva de Andrade. I know he's getting old. I don't know if he's got it in him to finish this guy, but god damn it, I would love to see it. I love Douglas Silva de Andrade, so
who can blame him? Who can blame him?
Douglas Silva de Andrade bias. Give me him. Give me him to win by decision.
And I gotta break Idaho's heart here. I gotta break his heart. I'm rooting for you, man. I'm rooting for old Douglas to win, old Dougie. But I gotta go with the sexy Mexi, John Castaneda. Very low level fight. I'll go with it. I'll go with the sexy Mexi. No Diddy, Holmes. He's only losing to fighters named Daniel. And though Douglas also has the letter D at the front, that isn't enough to beat Castaneda so easily. No Diddy. De Andrade really didn't do much against Miles Johns. He was gun shy, and it seems that that's his natural state when he's fighting in the Apex. John Castaneda isn't as bad as Cody Stamann is, though. He had a bad performance against Daniel Marcos. Daniel rules, so of course he didn't do well against a Daniel. He's dealing with a Da Silva here, and those fighters are cursed here at Split Decision Combat Sports Podcast. You will never escape your crime, Ariane Lipski. No more Da Silva for you. So I think Da Silva de Andrade is going to look hesitant and slow in there at 39 years of age. And Castaneda is going to light him up, light him up. He's on fire. Sexy Mexi's back, baby. So give me John Castaneda.
can't fucking believe you right now. I know you fucking curse one of my favorite fighters.
I'm sorry.
Ricardo Ramos versus Chepe Mariscal, featherweight. Ramos 17-6, 2-3 in his last 5, plus 310 as the dog, 29. Chepe Mariscal 17-6, 5-0 in his last 5, minus 420 as the favorite. He's 32. So Ricardo Ramos, I like loosely remember this guy. I think it's Ricardo Ramos, right? Because he's Brazilian.
Ricardo Ramos.
This guy's got a win over or a loss to Zubaira. Remember Zubaira Tuhugov?
I think I do.
He's one of Khabib's boys. I think he actually punched somebody in Connor's corner in the Khabib fight. But yeah, that guy hasn't been seen in years. Hope somebody better call him, make sure he's all right.
He's dead. He's in the gulag.
But yeah, so he got subbed by Jordan and Erosa, which I think was a bad look. Then he went to split. What is up with these people like going to split decision with Kulibao?
Splits with Josh Kalibao. Hey, the guy just doesn't do much, man. Dude, and yeah. I'll get into that in my prediction.
Chepe Mariscal, on the other hand, was on a sick knockout streak, looking like that guy, and then he went to split with Morgan Charrier.
That was a great fight, by the way.
And then he got a decision win over Damon Jackson, which I think we were all expecting him to knock out. Yeah. Does he come back to form here, or does he? I'm gonna pick him by round 2 KO, but decision's probably the safer route to go. I'm hoping that Chepe can come back to form and get back to his knocking out ways. But yeah, give me Chepe Mariscal. Ricardo Ramos doesn't really seem like he's all that great. How old is he actually, by the way? I think he's younger than he's 29. Not too much younger than Chepe.
He's definitely older in fight years.
Yeah, give me Chepe Mariscal. You want to make it a brawl. I honestly don't really see him losing this fight. Yeah, that's just me.
I don't see him losing either, but I do see him only winning by decision. But the machine gun's unloading tonight! Ha! Ricardo Ramos should have lost to Josh Kalibao by decision, but Kalibao kept joshing around and not entering the guard of Ramos every time he dropped him, and he lost via being a dumbass. And I still don't forgive him for that horseshit, by the way. That was actually one of my more excruciating moments watching doing a fight companion, was just him like kicking at his legs like once, and then he just stood there. Just stood there for 30 seconds. Literally did nothing. Didn't even allow him to like get up. The referee had to step in. So dude lost by just doing absolutely, like Luigi in Mario Party winning by absolutely nothing. He lost by doing absolutely nothing.
What?
Oh, it's in Mario Party. There's a trend of Luigi like literally just standing around during party games, and then everyone else just gets eliminated and destroyed. Yeah, I'm the best.
So, sounds more like Waluigi. That impression.
Okay. Mario, Luigi. That's a little. Okay, I'll stop now. Ricardo Ramos should have lost to Josh Kalibao by. Okay, Ramos is somehow washed despite being only 29 years old. And all he's really got is a spinning elbow at this point. But most of his fights, he loses by submission. And I haven't seen Chepe Mariscal pull off a submission in the UFC for a very long time. Despite Chepe's brawler style, I don't think he finds the finish. He couldn't pull it off on Damon Jackson when Jim Miller could. Mariscal gets Ramos down at key moments, beats him up, but he doesn't finish him, just avoids spinning elbows and crashes forward until he wins for the 30-27 unanimous decision. After getting bodied, Ricardo's got some splaining to do. He actually never says that in I Love Lucy, by the way. That's the Mandela effect.
Dude, but that was Damon Jackson with a fresh haircut, though.
That is true. That was Damon Jackson 2.0.
Yeah, more receding hairline.
Use that keeps. Use that stitching.
Yeah, he got on the hymns. Antoine asks, what amount of fights do you think is enough for a UFC debut? 11 or 7?
There are guys like Alex Pereira that have come in off of 7-0 in MMA and then just gone on to win the title. So
yeah, but he was a fucking double champ.
Yeah, he was a master kickboxer. That is true.
You know, it really depends, man.
Dagestani family too. They can have a little amount of wins and still.
I might say 15,
great.
But yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, but
They've been very.
I think we've had this conversation on this show before. Like, what is UFC level, right? I think it's definitely categorized. So 11 fights is plenty.
I said it was based on your wins that you get in the promotion.
Yeah. Chepe decision, but no way betting Chepe those lines. Bro should never be more than -200 at the most. Fair enough. All right, yeah, we really got to get this show rolling because it is approaching midnight and I got to go to sleep. Austin Lane versus Mario Pinto. Do you remember Mario Pinto's fight on Contender Series to get into?
Yes, it was brutal.
Okay. What round did he knock the guy out in?
I believe it was round 1.
Okay. Austin Lane, this is a heavyweight. Austin Lane is 13-5. He is 2-2-1 in his last 5. He's 37 out of Florida, plus 280 as the underdog. Mario Pinto is 9-0 out of Portugal, minus 360 as the favorite. He's 26. So everyone was thinking, everybody and their mom probably picked Austin Lane to lose in the first round to Rubeles of Spain, but he did not. He wrestled.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it sucked.
And somehow the Waldo Cortez Acosta fight was even worse.
It was. Yeah. But listen, Austin Lane is he's gonna go out there and try to have a brawl, but fuck, we've seen that he's got enough IQ to just take a guy down. Looking at Mario Pinto, rather inexperienced young heavyweight. He has won by decision a few times. And he lost before a Contender Series. He won a decision. Some guy knocked out Lucas Camacho 4 months ago. So he's definitely got the momentum in his favor. I think Austin Lane is going to be pretty rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting that win over Rubeles de Spain. Does lightning strike twice, and can he out wrestle this fucking guy? It's possible, but I'm gonna everyone's gonna be picking Pinto, so I'll probably pick Pinto as well. Probably first round KO. KO 1. This could come back to bite me in the ass though, because I will give Austin Lane credit in that the guy fucking was smart enough to wrestle the giant knockout artist in Rubeles de Spain, inexperienced as well. In that same vein. So I'm not completely counting Austin Lane out, but I am also going to pick officially Pinto to knock him out in the first round. So,
hey, I am too. So nothing to worry about. I just think Austin Lane, he can be smart for a football player. He's actually quite smart in the cage. He was doing well against Justin Tafa. Got that no contest with Tafa and then got knocked out immediately afterwards. Did well against Yonata Denise, so he can be a threat. But the problem is Mario Pinto has gone to decisions that he's won. He's won by ground and pound. He's actually implemented some wrestling. His knockout of Lucas Camacho was actually a rare knockout he got on the feet. So everyone's like, oh yeah, new power puncher, beware. But the dude's actually a solid wrestler as well. He delivers a lot of offense on the ground. And so
yeah, and Ty just mentioned that Pinto has decent grappling.
Yeah, so I feel like there isn't a lot in Austin Lane's game that he hasn't seen before. I think he's going to be fully ready. I think he's going to be fully ready for Austin Lane to shoot takedowns on him. In fact, I see him like having an idea for a counter shot when he's coming in for the takedown early in the fight and just counter right, boom, down he goes. If he doesn't knock him out, bam, he's on top. Boom, 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 elbow, and the fight's over, dude. He's not a pinto bean, man. He's the size of your Idaho potato in the truck, man. He's a big motherfucker, and Austin Lane just needs to stay in his lane, and that lane is headed straight to the GFL.
Aw, I don't know, man. I mean, Austin Lane wants to brawl too. There's a chance he's got a puncher's chance.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think
if he shoots a takedown, I'm rooting for his demise.
Do you think Mario and Taliesin are fated to fight one day? They're both super young and specimens in the cage. We'll have to see how their careers go.
Yeah,
and they're thinking,
it could happen, but there are a lot of dream matchups between prospects people think of, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
way too late.
Next fight is Danny Barlow versus Sam Patterson at welterweight. Danny Barlow is 9-0. He's minus 305 as the favorite. He's from Tennessee, and he's 29. Sam Patterson is 12-2-1. He is 4-1 in his last 5, only losing to Yanel Ashmouz. Plus 245 as the dog. He's 28 out of England. So this is pretty much to me like striking versus grappling. Sam Patterson he's really fucking tall. Let me see. Yeah, he's 6'3". Oh, Danny Barlow's 6'2". But you know what? One thing weird about Sam Patterson is look at that neck. He has a giant neck.
Mm-hmm. Looking like Shaggy.
You know what they say about giant necks, right? Big turtleneck sweaters.
Yeah. Of course.
But yeah, I think that Sam Patterson's really good on the ground, and he's got some finishes by sub. Danny Barlow, I'm surprised he's this heavy of a favorite, being 9-0. I think I'm going to pick Sam Patterson here to win by decision. But I don't know. Danny Barlow, he's a pretty decent fighter. Let's see. Got in Contender Series with a knockout. Knocked out Josh Quinlan, who kind of sucks. And then he went to split decision with Veretennikov, who's a pretty big welterweight.
Basically the town fool, just getting tomatoes thrown at him after pushing Vanderford. Public enemy number 1.
I guess. I mean, according to who?
According to me, that's who.
All right. Fair enough. I'm just gonna pick Sam Patterson here. I'll pick him by decision, but I don't know. I really don't have a dog in this one, and I don't know. It could go either way.
Thank you, Kobe. I'm going with Patterson as well. I think that was a wise pick from Idaho. But I have him by round 1 submission. I haven't been high on Danny Barlow since it took him 3 rounds to beat Josh Quinlan. I remember he was very slow. He got exhausted in that fight. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I need to hit him with that big right." Oh, I landed with the right. And then when he did, with the left hand to God. But he hasn't been able to land with that left hand very often. Once he's actually in the UFC, he goes to a split decision win with Nicolay, who got destroyed by Vanderford. And personally, I thought that Barlow lost, and I picked him. I picked Barlow to win. And I was like, dude, it's clear that Barlow lost. And then he ended up winning. So I feel like a fraud check's coming. I really do. Sam Patterson, he's taller. He's got a longer reach than he doesn't have a longer reach, but he's taller than Barlow. And I think the way that he fights, aside from a pretty failed stint at lightweight, I believe it was. Yes, it was at lightweight against Yanal Ashmouz. Crazy that Ashmouz has never had a knockout since, but he loses to Ashmouz. I think he was like really skinny for that division, and I think that affected his. I mean, look at that fucking neck, dude. I don't have to explain much. But now in welterweight, he's just taking fools down and subbing them, and I'm sure they're not the best of competition, but the way he's doing it so easily, I feel like he could do it on a lot of fighters. I think he how to describe it, like. He's got a Moicano kind of take you down. As soon as I take you down, it's over. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. It's over.
Yeah.
So I think Barlow's gonna look slow. He's not gonna connect with that left hand, and then Sam Patterson is just gonna use his big frame to just pressure until he gets him down. And dude, I haven't seen a lot of fighters that have been able to get out of Sam Patterson's guard, and I think he's gonna sub him. As Robin Black said, he is the future.
So he hasn't beaten the best guys, but I would say that he's got better wins than fucking Danny Barlow.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
and he has a consistent way of doing it too, which I think
Ty's going Barlow KO. There you go. The next fight is William Gomes versus Haider Emil at featherweight. Gomes 14-2. He is 5-0 in his last 5, minus 200 as a favorite. He's 27 out of Paris. Haider Emil. By the way, this motherfucker's 6 foot tall at featherweight. God damn.
Yeah.
Haider Emil is 10-0.
Yeah.
He's 10-0 at 34. Plus 170 as the dog.
You started late.
I did really well when I picked Haider Emil. I picked him every fight, and he's done me well. But William Gomes is a really good fighter.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had, he fought in Aries, French promotion, beat Jarno Aarons by majority decision, Francis the Fireman Marshall by split, Giannis Gamori knocked out, and then Brito by split.
Nutshot KO, remember. It was low.
Brito?
They counted it as a body kick.
Oh, okay, got it. But I actually, even though he's just going to split with a lot of dudes and Hyder Emil undefeated getting knockouts,
Still wins them.
Yeah, like and he's a young cat at featherweight, very competitive division. I got a lot of faith in Gomes. I don't think he'll finish Hyder Emil. Hyder Emil is pretty scrappy. But I'm pretty confident Gomes gets a decision win unless Hyder Emil he's got a good way of finding the chin of dudes and putting them away. He puts a lot of pressure, but I think that I think Gomes is pretty damn good everywhere, and I think that he just beats him 29-28.
Yeah, agreed. As the long-term fans of the show know, I'm not the biggest fan of William Gomes. In fact, some could say he is my arch nemesis, because he's had a lot of fights that have ended ridiculously. Giannis Gamori, nutshot knockout, split decision to Francis Marshall, majority decision to Jarno Aarons.
I think Francis Marshall is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, Francis is solid, but the thing is, he never wins definitively. You know, there's always some controversy to it. Like a lot of people thought that Brito beat him. I think that you could say that Gomes beat Brito, but I personally had it for Brito in that contest, and so there's just it's never satisfying watching a William Gomes fight, but he still wins them, and you got to give him credit there. Who does he remind me of? There's that other French black fighter. I think his name's like Double Tap or something, and he beat it was on the Paris card. Jesus Christ. Why am I forgetting?
We got to get the show. We got to get the show rolling.
But I think that he's solid technically. Hyder Emil, he's the Hurricane. He comes at you just swinging guns ablazing. He's very entertaining. He's 34 in San Francisco, so it's understandable why he got into the game late. You got to survive on the streets. He's exciting, but if he doesn't knock out William Gomes in the first round, I feel like he's going to gas out real bad. Taylor Lapilus. That's who I remember. Taylor Lapilus, both very technical and just outpoint for the most part.
I think Taylor Lapilus got more kickboxing chops.
Yeah, I think Lapilus is better for sure. But I just think that he's gonna have his big, opening sequence, and then it's gonna fail, or he's gonna hurt him bad. But he's coming back. Oh, he's slowing down. So I think Gomes is gonna win a decision.
Antoine asks, how do you feel about unranked fighters like Hyder in their mid-30s chasing titles? I love it, honestly. Sports are different now. First of all, Hyder Emil is not chasing a title. He might be in his own mind, but I got bad news for him. It's not going to happen.
Bad news.
But there's nothing wrong with older fighters, being in the UFC and getting fights and doing their thing. I think it's cool. But yeah, he's not chasing a title, man.
No way.
Unfortunately.
No way.
No disrespect. But next fight will be Nasrat Haqparast versus Esteban Ribovic at lightweight. Nasrat Haqparast is 17-5. He is 4-1 in his last 5, plus 215 as the underdog. He's 29. Esteban Ribovic is 14-1. 4-1 his last 5. His only loss ever is to Luik Ratsabov. Jeez, that guy sucks too. But he's pretty good a wrestler. He is minus 265 as the favorite. He is 28 out of Argentina. So I'm gonna go Ribovic here by decision. I think that he's got the one knock I have on Nasrat Haqparast. He's still a pretty young fighter at lightweight. He's fought some really good competition too, for being so young.
Ribovic is actually younger than him.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Nasrat Haqparast has a lot of really good names on his resume.
Oh yeah.
Being so young.
Got it.
Yes. And he's had he's kind of grown up in the UFC. At one point he was pretty exciting, but my one knock on him is that he just is not very active. He'll get out volumed and outpointed by Ribovic. The only thing that I think is dangerous in picking Ribovic in this fight, and it might be worth some dog money. Number one is Nasrat has a hell of a chin. He has a hell of a chin. And I don't even know if he's been rocked, or I don't think he's ever been knocked out, but I don't even know if he's been rocked. He has a hell of a chin, and
been rocked. I think he's been rocked.
Okay, but see, Ribovic had this fucking straight war with Daniel Zellhuber 5 months ago That is one thing that does worry me a little bit.
And wear on the chin.
Yes. But yeah, I'm gonna go Ribovic just to basically just be the more active fighter and get it done. I don't know if we've seen too much of Ribovic on the ground, but I do know that Nasrat is a pretty strong wrestler. But I don't know if that'll be much of a problem for Ribovic. Give me Ribovic 29-28 on the cards.
Yeah, I got Ribovic by decision as well. I just think that even if Nasrat hurts him, he'll keep going because his war with Daniel Zellhuber, like, just he was a bloody mess. He was getting beat up, but a lot of people still thought, oh, dude, Ribovic won. Dude is just a dog. He just keeps pressuring forward. No, is he? And he just keeps coming with combinations, and like he just gets the better of the exchanges. He's like refuses to get beaten in an exchange. If you hit him once, they hurt him bad. He's gonna hit you 5 or 6 times to make up for it. Also, I think he has some ability to get knockouts on the feet. Like the Terrence McKinney knockout was phenomenal. He's tall enough, he's long enough that he can, I think, catch Nasrat with some surprising shots. Nasrat's sort of a tinier guy who like just explodes, and I feel like the taller, rangier guy is probably gonna beat him. And I think that was a controversial decision win against Jared Gordon as well. Some people thought that Jared won, so I think Ribovic sort of has a brighter future than Gordon. I'll say it.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, Kobe, John Cena's not a fighter. I don't know where you're getting that information. Cody Brundage is going to fight Julian Marquez, one-time Miley Cyrus fumbler. How do you fumble Miley Cyrus? Anyway, sorry.
Hey, she came in like a wrecking ball, man.
Yeah. Middleweight, Cody Brundage is 10-6.
And he's got a bad chin.
He should be 10-6-1, right? Because he had this no contest with Abdul Razak Al-Hassan.
Just bunch of back of the head strikes.
But he is, we'll just say 2-1 in his last 5. He's plus 145 as the underdog. Fighting out of Colorado, he's 30. Julian Marquez is 9-5. He is 2-3 in his last 5. 34. So he fought 8 months ago. He got knocked out by Zach Reese. He's getting knocked out in all of his last 3 fights,
which is rough.
His last win was over Sam fucking Alvey, dude.
Rotten.
And then he had that really good fight with Maki Pitolo 4 years ago. I remember that fight very well.
How the fuck is this guy a favorite?
Super, super fun fight. Brundage, if we look back through his record, lost to Dumas, not a good look. Disqualification win against Malkoun, knocked out Zach Reese, lost by sub to Bo Nickel, and then had that fight with Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, which he was losing, in my opinion. I mean, he was losing, and then he got elbowed in the back of the head. So, people don't like Cody. People don't like Cody Brundage for a lot of reasons. But you know what? He's not the worst fighter ever. I think I actually picked him to win against Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. He's able to knock out Zach Reese, who's kind of just a brawler. Same as Julian Marquez. This fight will be fun because Julian Marquez, though he gets knocked out, dude's always in a fun fight.
Yep.
Getting finished or getting finishes.
Like a Brian Barberena.
Gosh, dude, am I really about to pick Cody Brundage to win by knockout? Oh, fuck. I do like that Marquez has taken some time off, and I think he knows he's going to be fighting for his job here. He's taking 8 months off. But, dude, you get knocked out 3 times in a row. Not a good look. Give me Cody Brundage by knockout. Second round. This will be a fun fight. This will be a fun fight. And if not, it goes to the decision, and it's a win for Cody Brundage. I just don't think that Julian Marquez can win UFC fights anymore. Check out the regional scene and get back to me. But he is getting kind of old, so yeah. What about you?
I'm going with Brundage by round 1 knockout. And if you look at Brundage's career, he doesn't get a lot of second round knockouts. Most of them actually come pretty early. He knocked out Tresean Gore, which was absolutely crazy, like just out of nowhere. Knocks out Zach Reese. I get it. It was a slam. Something was in the water in Austin.
Oh, yeah. That was a sick card.
Yeah. But, and this was from disqualification. That sucks. But I think he's just like explosive in his wrestling and explosive in his striking. And I feel like that's like, Julian Marquez's kryptonite. Fucking Marc-Andre Barriault is able to knock him out, just like walking up to him against the fence, bam, 1-2, you're done. And then Zach Reese, one uppercut, you're done. I feel like Cody Brundage is sort of an unpredictable fighter. The outcomes of his fights are definitely unpredictable. And I just think, yeah. And so I just think at some point, Cody Brundage, they're going to be like, going back and forth, feinting, circling, and then 1-2, bam, down he goes. I feel like Cody and plus Cody Brundage did have, in my opinion, he had an excellent performance against Bo Nickel. Stuffing all those takedowns, he looked really good in round 1. So yeah. I don't think Marquez has anything for him, honestly.
Wow. It'd be a fun fight.
Ridiculous that he's an underdog.
Manel Kape taking on Asu Amabayev at flyweight. Manel Kape is 20-7. He is 4-1 in his last 5, minus 230 as the favorite from Portugal or Spain. We don't really know. Right? No, I don't think he's ever claimed Spain. My apologies. Former Ryzen champion though. He's 31.
Yeah.
Asu Amabayev 21-2. He is 5-0 in his last 5, plus 185 as the underdog out of Kazakhstan. He's 31. Man. Asu Amabayev. Okay, one thing I wanted to say is that Manel Kape, what's up with him getting these alliteration fights? Zhalgas Zhumagulov, David Dvorak, Muhammad Mokaev.
Now Asu Amabayev. It's all the letters of the alphabet, boys and girls.
So he beat Ode Osborne by sub, CJ Vergara, and then it's been just decisions. Nicolau and Jose Johnson, the really tall guy, that was kind of cool. Just a weird image to see, I guess. Just Asu Amabayev just out wrestling dude. And then Mateus Nicolau was a really good win 4 months ago.
That was a good fight.
This was supposed to be a different fight. It was supposed to be Royval, right?
Him versus Royval for the number 1 contenders.
So you got Asu Amabayev stepping up on short notice. Credit to him for coming in and saving the card, being the main event.
Hooray.
I don't think that Asu Amabayev has anything for Manel Kape on the feet. The question is on the ground. Will he be able to control Manel Kape enough? I think that Manel Kape, when he gets into a groove, he's obviously fantastic, but he does fuck around a lot. He does stupid shit and tries to be Anderson Silva out there and do cool shit. I love it.
Sometimes, yeah, he succeeds.
I love it. I'm all here for it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. I want to see Manel Kape get his title shot, but at the same time, like, I don't know if I see him as the champion in the future. You feel me?
Yeah, he loses the title fight.
Right. Like, I don't think Asu Amabayev is the guy to expose him and beat him. Obviously, he lost that fight to Mokaev, which was a very strange fight. All around
that bad blood they had between each other.
Yeah, it was a weird fight. So
and he broke his toe as well.
Yeah, you could see some sort of scenario where the fight kind of goes that same way or similarly, and Asu Amabayev just gets a weird decision over Kape. But this is 5 rounds. I think that Manel Kape. How many 5-round fights has he been in the UFC?
I think he's been in. Jesus, has he been in any?
Right.
I don't think he's been in any.
I don't know how his volume with the boxing is going to carry into the 5th. He
did win by 3rd round knockout against Bruno Silva, though.
So, I mean, I'm going to pick Kape. I'm going to pick him by decision. But I think Asu Amabayev will make it competitive for a couple rounds. But I think just, the boxing and everything that Manel Kape does so well will win him this fight. But I'm not completely counting out Amabayev.
And I am going with Kape by decision.
I'm going to save my picks.
So there you go. Yeah, save it. Save it, damn it. You got to save it so we can give it to the predictions tracker. Oh, yeah. But anyway, Manel Kape, he looked I honestly think he had one of his best performances in his entire career against Bruno Silva. The timing, the way he was taunting, using it to dodge away, his great combinations, and he put him out at flyweight, asked for a title shot. It's basically everything you could have wanted from Manel Kape against Bruno Silva. But I feel like his fight with Asu Amabayev is going to go more like Idaho said, his fight with Mokaev, his fight with Felipe Dos Santos as well. People forget, man, that was a close fight. That was a matter of who can get a few more strikes than the other to win the round.
And that's why I just feel like Kop's like not the future champ.
Yeah.
Maybe by some weird circumstance.
Yeah. He's inconsistent. When he's good, he's great. But when he's, all right, it's like, let's not give him a number one contenders fight. And that's why he had to literally beg for it. But with Asu Almabayev, I think what made me pick Kop is that he almost lost to Mateus Nicolau. He almost lost. It was 1-1 going into the third. If Nicolau had kept up with the combinations and kept dodging his big overhands, I think he would have won that fight, and I don't think he'd be fighting Manel Kape right now. But instead, the overhand right connected, and then he just basically laid there on Nicolau for the rest of the round. But Nicolau did pretty well, and this is the dude that got completely destroyed, annihilated by Alex Perez, of all fighters. And he put up a good fight against Asu Almabayev. So I think Kape's going to put up an even better fight, and I think he's going to win. I think he's going to have enough great timing moments. He's great at stuffing takedowns. He can't really take down Manel Kape.
He's exceptionally fast for a flyweight as well.
Absolutely. And so I think he's going to sting up Asu Almabayev in this. But he's too young to get knocked out, so I'll say decision.
Well, there you go.
That's it.
Antoine says, who were you guys picking between Royval and Kape originally? I would have picked Royval. How about you?
Between Royval and Kape? That's actually a good question.
I would have picked Royval.
I don't think I think I would have picked Kape. I think I would have, because I feel like Royval dealt with a Moreno who was just in a horrible headspace, and then he dealt with a striker in Tatsuro Taira who almost beat him. It was a very close fight.
Grappler.
Yeah, but I feel like Kape is faster. I think Kape's more unpredictable. Royval has good, conventional boxing and combinations, but I think Kape has speed. And I think speed beats it.
I would have picked Royval. Because you know why?
Because he has to be number one contender.
Because it's the year of the Raw Dog, baby. Let's go. One of these
days. No Izzy. Wait, where's the sound effect? Where's
I think the guy's got like 4 or 5 kids.
Wow.
That's why.
Okay, no wonder he fights that hard. Jesus Christ.
But anyway, man. I gotta get out of here, guys. Appreciate you that joined this late night stream. It is midnight here.
Yeah. Also, Kobe, GM3 and Loma Lookboonmee. That is my answer.
Loma Lookboonmee, dude. Where the fuck's she at?
Where is she, man? Strawweight champion. Fucking atom weight.
I'm gonna say Seika Izawa, best fighter in the world.
Yes, sir. The GOAT.
You don't know, now you know. All right. Good to see you 9 a.m., bro. We're about to head out of here. Run it back. Check out our picks. Hank, lead us out.
You have escaped the concrete jungle. For now. Light him up, light him up. Hey, man, leave the little dude alone, Izzy. Leave him alone. He's a little guy. He's not even your size. You shut down. You sit down with your cartoon porn addiction. Get away from me, man. Fuck you.